In today's video, as you can see from the title, we're going to be talking about how much cash you need to buy a property in Toronto or the GTA. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Christina, also known as Christina Your Realtor. If you're returning, hi, thanks for coming back. I know it's been a while, but you know, life. And if it's your first time here, hi, thanks for clicking on this video. I do hope you stick around and subscribe. In today's video, as you can see from the title, we're going to be talking about how much cash you need to buy a property in Toronto or the GTA. Right now, the average price point of a property in the GTA is about $1.2 million. That's October 2021. And then the average price point of a condo is $740K. I'm going to be using a condo because most first-time home buyers do tend to buy condos, as semi-detached and detached and freeholds in general are a bit more expensive. And I'm also using Toronto because Toronto is expensive. The market is expensive. So that said, let's get into the video. Oh, and as usual, if you guys have any questions, any comments, please don't hesitate to leave them in the description, in the comment section, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. That's it. Let's get into the video. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I want to address. So this video is only for resale, like already built properties. It's not for pre-construction or anything like that, just built properties. And I want to address where is referred to as Toronto. So Toronto is anything, obviously. South is downtown, like water. To the west you have Etobicoke, to the east you do have Scarborough, and to the north like you have Steeles. So that's where is referred to as Toronto. So not just downtown, not just anywhere. So when I do say Toronto, I mean that area. So the average price point of the property in GTA is $1.2 million. For any property in Toronto, GTA, wherever you're going to buy, you need a minimum of 20% down for anything above $1 million. That said, for $1.2 million, the minimum down payment you need to have is $240,000. I'm going to be looking down here because I do have my notes, so you guys just note that. And so our minimum down payment is 20%, which is $240,000. Transfer tax for a property at this price point outside Toronto is $20,475. As a first-time home buyer, though, you do have a rebate of $4,000, which your lawyer can, file for you. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to use $20,475. Technically, if you're a first-time home buyer, it's going to be $16,475. But let's just stick to the higher price point because it's better to have extra money than less money. So that's it. So that's that. Lawyer fees, you're looking at anything around $2,000 plus HST. So we're just going to use that price point. So some people ask what lawyers do. They review the agreement, they obtain title insurance, they register the deed and the mortgage, they help with closing in general, they talk to the seller's lawyer, they do the title search. There's a bunch of stuff they do. They do all the legal process and all the legal stuff to make sure the property is in your name and it's smooth, the transaction is smooth, exchange of funds are good and all that. So just note that. Another cost to factor in is home inspection. Obviously it depends on age, condition, square footage, like size wise of the property. So there's no like one fixed cost for home inspection, but home inspection can be anything from $500 to $700. Just depends on the size of the home. Another fee you might have to pay for is appraisal. It all depends on your lender. That's something you should confirm with your mortgage broker or your bank if you're working directly with a bank, or any lender you're working with in general. So that can be anything from $200 to $500. Also, as I mentioned, we're going to be using the extreme, like the highest price points of all these ranges. So for the total of this property, this $1.2 million property outside Toronto, so in the GTA, we are looking at a down payment of $240,000, land transfer tax of $20,475, lawyer fees of $2,000 plus HST, that comes to $2,260, home inspection of anything from $400 to $700. We're going to use $700 for the calculations. Appraisal goes from anything from $200 to $500. We're going to use $500 for our calculations, and that sums up to $263,935. A lot of money, but again, it's a $1.2 million property. Next, we're going to move to Toronto. We're going to use the average price point of a condo in Toronto, which as of October 2021 is $740,000, so $740K. The minimum down payment for this price point is $49,000, but for the purpose of this video we're going to use 10% and 20% scenarios just to make it like easy for everyone to understand. And yeah, and again, like it's always better to have more than the minimum down payment required, because it influences how much you'll be pre-approved for. So yeah, so let's start with 20%. The 20% down payment for our 740 condo is going to be $148,000. There's a difference in land transfer taxes for like Toronto and the GTA. Land transfer taxes for Toronto, you pay it twice. You pay provincial and municipal land transfer tax, and that comes up altogether to $22,550. As a first-time home buyer in Toronto, you do have a first-time home buyer rebate of up to $8,475. So if you're meant to subtract it from this, it will be $14,075. But for the purpose of this video, like I said, we're gonna just use the highest price point, or the highest price in the range, which is $22,550. Next, you do have lawyer fees. For a condo of 740, you're looking at $1,500 plus HST, which comes up to about $1,695 for your lawyer fees. Another thing you're looking at is possibly home inspections. A lot of people don't do home inspections for condos, but some clients do it, some realtors advise it. It just depends on the state of the condo. One thing about condos though is you do have a starter certificate, which is basically the condo corporation summary of how the building is managed, the reserve fund, like how much money they have for like, you know, repairs, maintenance, all that, allocation of like maintenance fees, like if there's ever been lawsuits against the buildings, stuff like that. So lawyers actually do review that. It's kind of like a home inspection, but like for the whole building. That's always part of lawyer fees. So if you do have a lawyer, you don't have to pay extra for that. You get your lawyer to review it once your offer is accepted. But that's just by the way. If you do want to do a home inspection for your condo, you can prepare for anything from between $300 to $400. It just depends on obviously size and all that. And another thing again that you might have to pay for is appraisal. Like I did mention for the GTA property, you do have to confirm your lender or your mortgage broker if you do have to pay for it. Again, it can be anything from $200 to $300, just depends on, you know, your lender. So altogether, we have a down payment of $148,000. We have a land transfer tax of $22,550. We have lawyer fees of $1,695. It was $1,500 plus HST. We have home inspection, which you might need. It's not always necessary for condos. A lot of people don't use home inspection for condos, but if you do choose to do it, it's anything between $300 to $400. And then for appraisals, which again it's optional, talk to your lender, it can be anything from $200 to $300. Altogether, that comes up to $172,945. Like I did mention, as a first-time home buyer, you get up to $8,475 in rebate for your land transfer tax. If you calculate that with this, you do come up to $164,470. Again, you can use the higher price point to plan, but that's just an estimate. Now, if we do the 10% down payment, so obviously 10% down payment of a 740 condo is $74,000. Everything else stays the same. So your land transfer tax is going to be $22,550. Your lawyer fees is going to be $1,695. Your home inspection again is going to be around $300 to $400. Your appraisal fee, if you do it, is going to be anything from $200 to $300. But a difference in this and the 20% is you do have to pay tax on your mortgage insurance. If you're not aware, in Ontario, if you do put less than 20% down on a property, you do have to pay mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance can be added to your monthly costs for your mortgage, on top of your mortgage, but you do pay taxes on that, and in Ontario it's about 8%, which cannot be added to your monthly cost. You do have to pay that on closing. The mortgage insurance on this property is going to be about $20,646, and 8% of that is $1,652, which is a tax you pay on closing. So that cannot be added to your mortgage payment monthly. So altogether, this comes to about $100,597. So these are just numbers to give you guys guidelines to help you with your budgeting, your planning. And I know this is not like a little amount. it all sounds really like large and scary, but honestly there's different strategies you can use. There's different ways to get a down payment, and if you guys want, I can always reach out to me. I can always connect you to a mortgage broker that can help you strategically plan on how to save your down payments. Also, little things you can do, obviously you have like your tax refunds, you have stocks you can pull from. There's different things you can do to get a down payment. Don't stress. I just hope this doesn't like discourage you or make you feel like your goal is further than it actually is. It's just to give you like an idea of how much cash you do need to close on these property types. Again, you might be buying a property that's cheaper than these numbers. I just use them as a reference point based on the average price point in Toronto and in GTA. Other fees that you might have to consider that I didn't mention, because it's all based on like, you know, different scenarios. Reimbursement of condo fees, for example. If let's say you're buying a condo and your seller has paid for the condo fees from like, let's say October 1st to October 31st, and you do move in on like the 20th, you do have to reimburse them from like the 21st to 30th. So yeah. Another thing you might have to pay for is property taxes. If the seller has paid from January to December and you do move in June, you do have to reimburse them from June to December in this case. Another fee you might have to pay for is utility setup when you're moving into the property. Some providers do require you pay upfront for utility setup. You also have to pay for title insurance, which is typically about $100 per 100K. So like, for example, a 700K condo, it's gonna be about $700. Again, it's not like a one size fits all for every property. It's just an approximate, but your lawyer will definitely be able to, you know, talk you through this. And again, these are just examples of costs you need to pay for. The ones I mentioned are most likely what you need to pay for and what you need to focus on, and it differs for different people. Again, these are just price points and things to give you guys an estimate on what you will need to pay for. It might be a bit different per scenario, but this is just a starting point or a benchmark for everyone. Hope this video was clear and helpful. If you guys have any questions, like I mentioned earlier, leave them in the comment section. I'll be sure to get to them as soon as possible. Thanks a lot for watching and have a good one. Bye. So let's start with 20%. So 20% of 740, so 48,000. Okay, so let's start with 20%. 20%. What the hell? Okay. So let's start with 20%. So 20% of the property. Oh my goodness. So let's start with. So let's start with 20%. So minimum. Oh my god, am I stumbling on this part? Okay.